Now, why Virgil van Dijk is a good pick in my opinion, because Trent is injured, and that will help you create that placeholder, which you will not be doing by downgrading to someone like Konate. And Virgil van Dijk also has that aerial prowess and the threat, and the fixtures that Liverpool have are also pretty decent in my opinion. The second being that Bruno can be more explosive under Amorim, I believe, due to the playing style and the direct nature. So Bruno plus that 1.7 million is definitely greater than Saka in my opinion. And in defense, we have Arsenal double up of Timber and Gabriel. Now, when you open the fixture difficulty rating of Arsenal, the only thing that you see is a sea of green. Hey guys, welcome back to another video from the Football Herd. Hope you're doing wonderfully well. This is a weekly watchlist video that I do each game week, in which I talk about 9 crucial players, 3 from each segment of defense, midfield and attack, who are extremely important for the upcoming game weeks based on form, eye test and underlying data. Now, I have broken this video into 4 sections. The first part will be the watchlist. The second part will be how my team did in game week 11, the game week 11 review. The third part will be the best game week 12 wildcard draft. And the fourth part would be some crucial player comparisons, like I'll be comparing Saka with Bruno, and I'll be also comparing Jackson with Isak. So there's a lot to cover, and I'm looking to reach 300 subscribers with this video. And if you do like this video, please do drop a like and subscribe to my channel. That will mean a lot to me, and I hope to add immense value to your FPL teams and help you make more informed decisions. So without delaying any further, let's get started. So in game week 11, my team fetched 63 points and my rank stands at 100k. And now I would say that it's a pretty decent game week because 5 out of 11 players returned, and I have maintained my rank at 100k with a small green arrow from 105. Now there was a huge swing in Haaland and Salah captainers, I believe, and we Salah captainers had the last laugh again. Now my captaincy metrics was again a hit, and so was the Twitter thread that I had posted covering all the game week 11 topics. Thank you so much for that. Now coming back to my team, Flecken again conceded a couple of goals against Bournemouth and I fetched 1 point. Guardiola and Trent with 1 point, and Isak kept a clean sheet and gave 6 points. And in my midfield, Emil Smith-Rowe scored a goal and got 3 bonus points, which helped him fetch 11 points. And Salah was the one with a goal and assist and gave 14 points and proved to be the best captaincy pick of the week. Now coming to the others in midfield, Rodgers and Palmer had a quiet outing with no returns, and Mbomo picked up an assist. Now in attack, Strand Larsen scored a couple and Haaland gave 5 points. To be honest, I got lucky with the Spurs assets blanking and also Wood not making it big, because they were the ones who were, having very high effective ownership against my team. Now with this thought, we move to game week 12. At my defensive watch list, I have a defensive watch list of Virgil van Dijk, Kirkes and Gabriel. Now I'll explain each pick for you. Now Virgil van Dijk, because he has already scored 1 goal and from his 3 shots, he's created 2 big chances and has an expected goals involvement of 0.4 with 28 points in the last 5 game weeks. Now why Virgil van Dijk is a good pick in my opinion, because Trent is injured, and that will help you create that placeholder, which you will not be doing by downgrading to someone like Konate. And Virgil van Dijk also has that aerial prowess and the threat, and the fixtures that Liverpool have are also pretty decent in my opinion, with only Manchester City tough among the upcoming 6. They have Southampton, City, Newcastle, Everton, Fulham and Spurs in the next 6. So Virgil van Dijk is a very decent pick in my opinion, and he is the first player in watchlist. Now coming to the next player, that is Kirkes. Now Kirkes is unable to score any goals as of yet, but he has already created 2 big chances, and we are seeing that Bournemouth are playing wonderful football, and he has already racked up his expected goals involvement, and it's 0.7. And he is one of those amazing crossers that we see in the game, and the likes of Evan Nilsson are also in very good form, and Semenyo is also in very good form, and the fixtures of Bournemouth that we are talking about so highly of is amazing in my opinion. They only have Tottenham and United. That's a bit tough. Apart from that, all of them are easy fixtures in the upcoming 6. Now they have Brighton, Wolves, Spurs, Ipswich, West Ham and United. Now all of them are easy fixtures in my opinion, and Kirkes is one of those low-priced defenders who is in my watch list. Now coming to the main man, that is Gabriel. Now Gabriel is unable to score any goals in the last 5 games, but he's already had 4 shots. But he was very good with his aerial prowess to start the season, and he has already racked up 17.78 expected points, out of which he only scored 8 in the last few fixtures. Now, it was a very lackluster phase, I would say, for Arsenal assets, both defensive and offensive, last 5 game weeks. But I believe that we have immense value in the Arsenal assets, with there no international break in the upcoming few months, and a very easy run of games for them. And I believe that games like Forest, West Ham, United, Fulham, Everton, Palace are all wonderful games for a defender of Gabriel's prowess to have. And also, I believe that he is the best Trent replacement if you want a like-for-like replacement based on the price bracket. And also, as you can see that in the graphic, that only a few assets have a greater XGI than Gabriel, and he also leads Guardiola in that matter. So you can very well understand that he is an amazing asset this time round, and the fixtures have turned, and hopefully the form of Arsenal will also turn. Coming to the midfielders, I have a midfield three of Bruno, Saka and Semenyo in my watch list. Now Bruno, because he has already scored a couple of goals from 17 shots in the last 5 game weeks. He has already created 5 big chances with an XGI of 2.8, which is immaculate in my opinion. And he has already scored 37 points in the last 5 game weeks, which is one of the highest scoring players in the last 5 game weeks. Now United have games like Ipswich, Everton, Arsenal, Forest, City and Bournemouth. Out of this, only the City and Arsenal fixture is tough. Other than that, in 12 and 13 they have Ipswich and Everton, so those are very juicy fixtures in my opinion. So if you have the fund and if you have the budget in midfield, then Bruno is an amazing pick. Now coming to the next player, that's Semenyo. Now Semenyo has already scored 1 goal and had 19 shots in the last 5 game weeks. He's already created 1 big chance and has an XGI of nearly 2. And his 17 points do not define the kind of asset or the talisman that he is for Bournemouth. But the upcoming run of games, which I just spoke about when I was talking about Kirk, is that Brighton, Wolves, Spurs, Ipswich, West Ham and United, those are amazing fixtures in my opinion. So Semenyo is also in my radar if you want someone in that price bracket. Now coming to the main man, that's Bukayo Saka. Now Saka has already scored a couple and had 13 shots and created 4 big chances in the last 5 game weeks. He has already scored 29 points in the last 5 game weeks. And the fixtures that Arsenal have are very lucrative. And as you can see in the graph, that only Palmer and Salah has a greater expected goal contribution than Saka. And he's also among the top 5 players when you take the XGI into consideration, as shown in the graphic. So those are amazing numbers in my opinion when you talk about Saka. And you can also see the bandwagon that there is no Haaland in a lot of drafts. So you can definitely go with Saka, Palmer and Mohamed Salah in my opinion in the midfield. Saka being the talisman in this watch list for me as far as the midfielders are concerned. Now coming to the forwards, I have a watch list of forwards basically of João Pedro, Nicholas Jackson and Isak. Now I'll explain each of the picks gradually. Now to start with Isak. Now Isak has scored already 3 goals from 15 shots and created 4 big chances and had an XGI of 3.3. And his expected points were 24.1, but he has surpassed that and scored 28 in the last 5 game weeks. And there are the fixtures that Newcastle have like West Ham, Palace, Liverpool, Brentford, Leicester and Ipswich. Only Liverpool game is a bit tough. Other than that, all are very lucrative fixtures and they are conceding goals galore, the likes of West Ham, Palace and Ipswich. So it's a very crucial point I mean. And I'll also talk about Isak and Jackson in my comparison when I'll do it in the later point in the video. So stick around. Now talking about the next player, that's João Pedro. João Pedro is back from his injury and he has already scored 1 goal and 2 big chances that he's created from 2 shots. And his expected goals involvement is 0.9 and his 11 points in the last 5 game weeks is only contributing of the last game week itself. So that's amazing in my opinion. And he has Bournemouth, Southampton, Fulham, Leicester, Palace and West Ham. Now you can definitely load up on Brighton assets, and João Pedro is one of them in my opinion. Now they have the best fixture run. If I can stress that, I can't even stress enough on the point that they have the best fixture run in the upcoming 6 game weeks. So he's a very important pick in my opinion, and he can be a definite Strand Larsen or would downgrade in my opinion as your second or third attacker. Now coming to the third and the main man, that's Nicholas Jackson. Now Jackson has already scored 2 goals from 7 shots, and the fixture run of Chelsea is also insane in my opinion. And he has an XG of 1.7 in the last 5 game weeks. And as you can see that only Haaland has a greater goal contribution and expected goals involvement than Jackson. And he's also the second highest forward in goal contribution XGI as seen in the scatter plot of forwards. Now do let me know whether you love these graphs or not. I'll optimize my content accordingly. And so that completes the watch list of the forwards. First comparison, I'll be comparing Bruno with Saka. Now, Saka dominates the stats when we look at the big chances created, the expected assists, then chances created, then touches in the box, then shots on target. And Bruno only dominates marginally in the through balls, final third passes, big chances and expected goals. Now, Bruno has fixtures like Ipswich, Everton, Arsenal, Forest, City and Bournemouth. It's a bit tough, whereas Saka has Forest, West Ham, United, Fulham, Everton and Palace. Now, it's very important to understand 3 fundamental factors in my opinion. The first being that the extra 1.7 million that you will have if you opt for Bruno can do wonders and help you upgrade a lot of mediocre assets. The second being that Bruno can be more explosive under Amorim, I believe, due to the playing style and the direct nature. So Bruno plus that 1.7 million is definitely greater than Saka in my opinion. However, Saka is a much safer pick since he's more consistent. Now it's completely your call whether you want to go with the Englishman or the Portuguese, but it's neck and neck between the two, and if you want to upgrade a lot of assets, then Bruno is the choice, and if you want a safer pick, then Saka is the choice. Now coming to the next comparison, that is Nicholas Jackson versus Isak. Now as you can see that they have completely similar stats as you can see in the graphic. Now Isak is 0.6 million costlier than Jackson. And I also would like to stress that Isak is a much more prolific striker in my opinion than Jackson in footballing terms. Now, but also we have to take into consideration that Isak is playing for Newcastle, whereas Jackson is playing for Chelsea, and that somehow changes the complete dynamics altogether. Because Chelsea man is being fed by potent informed players like Neto, Palmer, and whereas Isak is over reliant on those crosses from Lewis Hall, Anthony Gordon, and also Anthony Gordon hasn't hit those numbers that we used to see in the previous seasons altogether. Now Jackson has already scored 6 goals and 3 assists in the entirety of 11 game weeks, whereas Isak has already scored 4 goals and 2 assists. Now Isak has played 2 games less, and in my opinion, if you want to go with Jackson, there's a different narrative. But if you want to go with Isak, there's a different narrative altogether. Now, Isak is a more explosive pick, having more upside than what Jackson is. But Jackson is a more safe pick if you don't have the likes of Palmer to cover the Chelsea assets. So if you have Palmer, I will not recommend you guys to have double up of Jackson and Palmer. But if you do not have Cole Palmer, then Jackson is a favored pick in my opinion than Isak. The best wildcard draft for game week 12. Now it's a very fluid and dynamic wildcard draft which is built keeping all the factors into consideration like the fixture swings, the key premium assets for a long-term horizon, and the tactical placeholders for key positions. Now I'll explain briefly each pick and the thought behind this team. Now in goal I've gone with Sanchez since he's the goalkeeper with the best run of games for a long term, and it's not advisable to use any transfers for a goalkeeper since we'll always have certain areas to fix in our team going forward, right? And in defense, we have Arsenal double up of Timber and Gabriel. Now when you open the fixture difficulty rating of Arsenal, the only thing that you see is a sea of green till game week 23. So in my opinion, it's a no-brainer to load up on them for a long term, and if things don't work out, you can definitely or directly switch to someone like Pedro Porro, and we already have seen this that Timber is nailed due to Calafiori and White being absent, And Gabriel is also a must due to the set piece threat. Now, to complete the defense, I have opted for Aït-Nouri and Luis Hall, followed by the bench fodder of Bella. Now, Aït-Nouri is selected due to his form and fixture. Now, I have spoken a lot about Aït-Nouri in my watchlist videos that he's the most adventurous left wing back and a differential pick, and he rotates perfectly with someone like Luis Hall. Right, so that's why I've picked Luis Hall and Aït-Nouri, and I'll play one of them in each of the game weeks. Now in my midfield, I've gone for a strong four of Salah, Rogers, Mbeumo and Palmer. Now all four of them are talisman in their respective teams and have brilliant fixtures. Now the Palmer versus Saka was a very high dilemma for me, but I have opted for the Arsenal defenders to cover for Saka right now. That's why I have a double up for Arsenal, and I have gone with Palmer in my midfield. Now in my midfield, the fifth player is Harry Winks. Now he is again a bench fodder. Now I'll not be willing to start him, but he is one of those players who will be starting a lot of games, but not in my team, and he's a confirmed 2-pointer for me. That's why he's a very safe bet. Now in my attack, I have a front three of João Pedro, Haaland and Matheus Cunha. Now Haaland purely due to my mental peace and happiness. I don't want to go against the robot and lose my mental peace. And I want to enjoy the weekend with the FPL games. And I am in no mood, to go against him and see him wreak havoc in any games. But jokes apart, Haaland is also a very important asset, and I believe that Fred De Bruyne and with Pep not having this kind of a dry run in his entire career when he was the manager of City, I believe that they will bounce back. So it's a very important that you guys hold to Haaland, in my opinion. And João Pedro and Cunha are both leaders in their team, so those are also no-brainer picks, as I have spoken very highly about João Pedro earlier also. Now this team is so dynamic that you can opt for any formation as you wish. However, the 3-4-3 is my choice, with Timber and Aït-Nouri Gabriel in defense, then Salah, Rogers, Mbeumo and Palmer in midfield, and João Pedro, Haaland and Matheus Cunha as the forwards. Now do let me know your thoughts about this wildcard draft for Game Week 12 because I am very optimistic about this draft. Thank you so much if you watched the video till the end. If you do like this content, please do drop a like and subscribe to my channel. That will mean a lot to me. I'm looking to hit 300 subscribers before the Game Week 12 deadline. So I'll be posting that team selection video tomorrow. So also make sure that you check that out, and all the best for Game Week 12.